pretty much like a normal bobber really to me, but I'm going to be fitting a decat to it shortly, an X pipe. But what I do like about those exhausts, I like the fact that they're a slash cut. They look quite cool. So yeah, just got to get to it now and start. I've got to fit X pipe, forward controls, and I've got a few other little trinkets to go on. So there we go. Well, I shall get it on the lift and start fitting my forward controls. Might as well make a start on it. It's a beautiful day and I hope to be able to go out and ride it tomorrow. So there we go. Okay, catch you later guys. Definitely sounds a little bit louder. There's a few little pops there as well, so I think that'll be fine. We'll see how it goes anyway when we get a few miles on it. And that's it for now. So hope you enjoyed this little series of videos, and that's my bobber TFC. Okay guys, I shall catch you all again. Bye for now. Okay, so first job I'm going to do is fit some bobbins onto the swinging arm there, and then I know it's safe on the stand. This is some of the stuff that I've got to put on. I mean, none of it's completely necessary, but these were off my old bike, and I just think they're nicer than the standard ones that come on. So I'll fit those on. I've got these covers as well in black, which I think just looks a little bit better really, and it's only because I've got them. I wouldn't have gone out and bought them. They're just available because they were removed from my old bike. Same with this, I've got this nice headlamp bezel which came off my old bobber, so that can go on because that one's quite ordinary really, so it would look nice with that on there. Again, you know, I bought it for the old bobber, so I might as well fit it on this one. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, make a start fitting stuff. I've got the decat, those are my forward controls, all set up ready to go on. A new fuel cap there because I don't like locking ones. Those are the bobbins. So yeah, that's it. That's what I shall be making a start with. Okay, so that's the carburetor trim fitted and the airbox trim fitted, and the headlight bezel fitted, which I think is a big improvement. They should have put one of them on it, to be honest, from the factory, but anyway, luckily I had one. So what I've got to do now is, because as some of you may know or may not if you've looked at my videos in the past, I cannot ride a bike that hasn't got forward controls because of my knees. They just don't bend, simple as that. So that is the next job. I'm going to fit the forward controls, but to do that I have to remove most of the, well, I have to remove some of the exhaust, so I might as well remove most of the exhaust, or all of the exhaust actually, and fit my decat pipe as well while I'm at it. Again, that's off the old bobber, but you know, these pipes are so nice, I will never change them obviously, but I would like a little bit more sound out of the thing, so a decap pipe's the way to go. So that's what I'll do. I've already got it, I might as well fit it, because I've got to remove the pipes anyway to fit the forward controls, then I might as well fit the decat at the same time. So it saves removing the exhaust twice. So I'll video some of it as I go along, the stuff that's of interest, but obviously it's going to be a long-winded video. I'm not the fastest of workers, so there we go. But the forward controls consist of, it's a kit from Triumph. It's the same as fitted on the Speedmaster. This bracket here, which contains your rear brake, is removed and replaced with one from the kit. And basically what that allows you to do is then bring everything forward. There's a bar that mounts at the front here, and I've just checked, it is the same as my Bobber Black, so I'm not going to have any trouble with my kit. It's just going to fit straight on, which is good. And I've had all the parts powder coated black, which you might see over there. These brackets here, they're normally aluminium. The footrests I've had done black. Yeah, so even the linkages, that's the brake linkage there, and the rod, I've had them all powder coated black just to blend in a little bit better, I think, and obviously give a bit of protection as well. So I'm going to start by removing the exhaust. Don't really need to film that, it's just nuts and bolts. You have to loosen these clamps here, which I've already done on this side. Loosen your O2 sensor. I'm not going to go up there for the wiring and you know, disconnect it. I just twist it off the pipe, just turn the pipe round and it will come off. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll come back to you when the pipes are removed. So 12mm socket. Okay, so the whole gear lever assembly, original gear lever assembly, has to be removed, which is this bracket here, so it comes off complete. And these bolts are not reused. That's that. Put that safely away, and then that can be, you know, if ever I come to sell the bike in the future, can be refitted. Now, to remove the exhaust, I've loosened off the O2 sensor, and basically we've got two clamps underneath here with a 10mm nut on them, so just have to loosen them off, and this exhaust should pull straight out. Okay. There we go, that's it. So I just need to undo the O2 sensor. And then to remove the silencer, it's the same thing. There's another 10mm nut underneath there, which I think I can get with a long reach socket. Okay, so that's that loosened. The clamp at the back is loosened, so that should likewise just pull out. There we go, nice. The silencer off on this side. It's just a repeat of the other side, and then we need to remove this plate here, because that's where the forward control bracket, the main bracket, is mounted to. That instead of that, it goes there. So I shall come back shortly and update you on anything you need to know. I'll just get the pipe off the other side. Okay, so the next step with the forward controls is that this plate here has to be removed, and all of the furniture that's behind it, which is basically the master cylinder, the rear brake light switch, and that's it really, is mounted at the back. That is replaced with this bracket here, which came in the kit when I bought it for the original bobber. So you can see those those two bolts there are your mounting bolts, which are those two which get reused obviously. That's your master cylinder bolt there, and there's some on the back as well. So that bracket is replacing this bracket here, and your brake, your actuating arm if you like, is fed through there, through that bush, and that's it really for the forward controls. Other than mounting the main bracket, but this is the most complicated part really. You just have to go steady with these bolts and make sure you use the correct torque settings and so on. But it literally is just undo those two bolts, refit that, and just swap everything over. As long as you take your time and be sensible, then you won't have a problem. Okay, so I'm going to do that now, and then I shall come back to you when we get to the catalytic converter or the X-pipe. Okay. So just go so you can see what's in the back there. That's the switch for the rear brake. So it's just held on with a 5mm Allen headed bolt, which has got Loctite on it by the feel of it. And that cover comes off. That's your switch. And then I need this little bracket, because this came with the kit with the other one, but I inadvertently, well, I broke it basically. So and a new one was £17 for a little bolt like that. That's that, and then you've got Torx T30 holding the cylinder in place. And then we've got this bolt here holding the brake lever on. Just move this camera back a bit, hopefully get a better view of what's going on. Okay, T30 on this side. That's the bracket off. So basically all I've got to do now is I need that spring there. The brake lever doesn't get reused, the bracket doesn't get reused, and neither does the foot peg. I just need that spring, or even that little bracket there, that doesn't even get reused either. So that's it for the just got to swap everything over and we'll make some progress. Okay, so that's the setup for the forward controls for the rear brake side, which actually is the most complicated side to do, because you've got to remove the switch from the master cylinder. The other side's straightforward, but I was mistaken. We do use that bracket at the back. It is reused. It's this one that comes through it's this spindle here. As you can see, everything's marked up for you for lining up the holes and that. So it's pretty straightforward. Just have to take your time, and you know, don't rush it. It is your brakes after all. So all that remains for me to do now is to torque these bolts down. This one here is the brake master cylinder, the T30, 16 Newton meters. That's that. And then these bigger ones, the main bolts here, 40 Newton meters. I shall do them now. Okay. Okay, so we're now on to the X-pipe. I've done the forward control on that side, the worst part of it anyway, or the biggest part of the job. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. So this is the X-pipe here, the original with the catalytic converter in it obviously. So that's got to come out. Now the way that comes out is you have to undo this bolt here, 12mm, and this one here, 12mm. And then what you have to do is you have to undo this, which is, I think it's a T50, and it's got a nut on the back, 17mm. Then you have to undo these 8mm Allen headed bolts, and there's a couple down here as well. Just move that. There's a couple, those two there have to be removed as well. And basically what you do is you just swing this whole rail here, you just swing it towards you. You don't need to remove it. The side stands on it, and there's some other, bit of wiring, clutch cable and stuff like that. Don't need to disturb any of that. It's just so that you have enough room to pull the cat this way. It has to go this way to pull it off. There's I'll show you, there's a lug on the other side. It's just a rubber mounting bush here where it's pressed into. So that's it really. It is straightforward. Just undo those let's say frame bolts. Yeah, come in, and swing the frame out the way, and then that will all slide out. So my tea's ready. I'm just going to go and eat it, and then I shall come back and fit the cat later after I've had my tea. Okay, so that's the catalytic converter out. So all I need to do now is swap over the components from one to the other. So this rubber bush has to go onto this X-pipe, likewise with this rubber bush, and the exhaust gaskets and clamps here and here, they just need swapping over, and then I can fit that back on. And that weighs a ton. That's really heavy. Actually, let's see how heavy it actually is. I've got some scales here. Right. 0. That is 2.4 kilograms. 2.4 kilograms, or about 5 pounds. And the other one, it's not even 1 kilo, 0.7. So yeah, that's a good, about almost 2 kilos saved there between that, and also it should help it breathe a bit easier as well. So I'm going to swap all the components over and then refit it. That's the decap piping. The guard at the front there, this part, put up a bit of a fight. Didn't want to line up for some reason. I had to tweak it a little bit, but it's in now. So all that remains now is I've put the cradle bolts back in. I've just got to torque everything down, and or torque everything up, whichever way you prefer, and that's that for that bit. Then I've just got to fit the exhaust, so I'll just leave the camera there running for a little while. So these cradle bolts are 40 Newton meters. It's too down. The M12, this big bolt here, that's 105 Newton meters, so it's quite tight, and has a nut on the back. That's it. So that's it. So what I have to do now is put the silencers back on, and then my forward control bar, and I'm going to call that job done for tonight. That's the decap X-pipe fitted down there, and those are my forward controls, so I can actually ride the bike now. So I can confirm to anybody that's interested that the normal stock forward controls that fit on a bobber black or a normal bobber, they will fit on the TFC as well, so that's good news. And the fact that I'd already got them is even better news. So that's it. So yep, I can ride the bike now and try and get some miles on it. I have got a couple of other little jobs I want to do. I've probably mentioned it before, but the gearing on these bikes is crazy. They're geared for like 145 miles an hour or something silly like that, and they're actually limited to 110 or 115 or something, which you wouldn't want to do on one of these anyway. But it's much better to change that rear sprocket and alter the gearing and have more mid-range and get more pull, because they do pull well. So the more you can get in the mid-range, I think is better for our roads anyway, and my style of riding. I'm not a speed merchant, so, but I do like, you know, the feeling of nice acceleration, and it's handy when you want to overtake a car or something like that. So yeah, so that's the next job really. Chain and sprocket, well, sprockets. I've got it's a 37 standard on the rear and a 17 on the front. I've got a 16 for the front and a 39 for the rear, which is exactly the same gearing that I run on this Speedmaster, and that's fine. It suits that down to the ground. Well, this has got a little bit more power, so it should, you know, and a few extra revs. It should actually be quite useful to have that lower gearing. So that's the next job really. May do that tomorrow. Then again, if it's nice and sunny, I'll probably just go for a ride and sort the gearing out, you know, over the weekend or something. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that and found it useful information. As you can see, all my forward controls have all been powder coated black pedals, which I think is in keeping with the bike. One thing I did notice, this frame is, it's not gloss black like this one. You see, this frame's gloss black, but this one is like a satin black, which is really nice. It gets showing up a few fingerprints. That's my grubby hands. But yeah, so dust on the bike already. I don't know. So hopefully I can get out on it tomorrow and put some miles on and get it ready for its first service. So I hope you enjoyed all that, and I shall catch up with you all again. Thank you. Bye.